We're on page 127 in grammar today. 127. We're getting close. Did you guys notice that we're kind of near the end of the grammar book already? Which is so cool. Once we finish grammar, we're done with grammar. We're just going to focus on the binder the rest of the time together. So that'll be good to be done with that.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so talking about verbs today, this is a review. It says review it up here. That just means you already know about this, but we're just going to talk about it again. There are 3 types of verbs that we know of. So it says a verb shows action, links the subject to another word, or helps another verb. So they're action verb, linking verb, and helping verb. Those are 3 types of verbs that we know. Mariah's coming in, so I'll catch her up to where we're at. And it says an action verb shows action or ownership. A linking verb links the subject to a noun or adjective. That word link makes me think of like a chain. You know, when the links are together, they're connecting. Okay, so when you think of linking verb, think of a chain in the sentence where it's connecting the subject to a noun or an adjective. Hi, Mariah.
Hello.
We're on page 127, okay? Okay. And then a helping verb helps an action verb or a linking verb. The helping verb is always followed by another verb. So it helps another verb most of the time. So answer these questions orally. It says, what are the linking verbs? Now, the linking verbs, we marked that page, I think. Did we mark it? Maybe not. Go to page 55. It's kind of far back. Go backwards a little bit to page 55. All the way back here, 55. Or at the back, page 55. This has all of the linking verbs. This is back when we learned about linking verbs. Yeah. So we've got here where it says memorize it. Am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been, seem, become, appear, grow, remain, taste, sound, smell, feel, look. I think we talked about how those are your 5 senses right there, the last row. But all of these words are called linking verbs. It's also at the bottom of that page. So if you ever needed to know what they are, this is the page you need to go to. If you have a Post-it note, one of these sticky notes, this would be a good page to mark. If you don't have one of these, that's okay. But if you have one near you, go ahead and get that and see how this is the sticky part at the bottom. Okay. That way you can stick it up on the page here. So I want you to just write linking verbs on the part that's not sticky. Like turn it upside down. And then when you stick it here, it goes like this, past the top of the page, and it says linking verbs. That sticks right here. And that way you can come back to this. And when you need to look at the list of linking verbs, it'll be on this page. Okay, and then, so those are all the linking verbs. And then it says, what are the helping verbs? Let's label that page too. So now I want you to turn to page 61. So go past a little bit. Oh yeah, we already marked this page, huh? That's cool. I already have one here. Do you guys have one on that page, Lacey?
I had sticky notes on helping verbs and linking verbs.
You already did? Okay, good. So you were already set. And so these are the verbs here for helping verbs, and some of them are the same as linking verbs. So it's sometimes hard to tell the difference, but Am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been, have, has, had, do, does, did, may, might, must, can, will, shall, could, would, should. So these are the lists of helping verbs, and they're also at the bottom of that page. And then, okay, go back to our page for today, which is page 127. I know we're flipping all over the book today. That's okay. Getting used to using this book. Back to page 127. We already talked about linking verbs and helping verbs. We labeled those pages, so you can go back to those if you need to. But then here it says the be verbs appear on both the linking verb and helping verb lists. What are they? Now, the be verbs, that's kind of a weird way of saying that, but it's all the words that go with be, be. Like be, being, been, am, is, are, was, were. Those are all called the be words, be. Okay. Now it says down here, add helping verbs to the action verb 8 to change the meaning of the sentence. There are multiple right answers. Use eat, ate, eating, or eaten. The sentence says the soldier ate apples, but we can put a helping verb in here. We could say the soldier will eat. Go ahead and write that in. The soldier will eat apples. That word will is a helping verb. Will eat. So you can add a helping verb and it still makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then the next part says, find the weak verb, fill in the blank with a stronger verb choice. So the sentence says, the dwarf saw the soldiers, and that weak verb is saw, because sometimes we overuse that. What's another way to say saw? Raise your hand if you have a word we can use instead of saw. Lacey, what do you think?
Found.
Found. There you go. Good. Okay, the dwarf found the soldiers. There you go. That's a good one. There's others you could do, like the dwarf spotted the soldiers, or the dwarf spied the soldiers. There's other choices, but go ahead and write found. Okay, we're done with that practice, this one. So go to the actual practice page, which is 129. And then Liana, can you read that page for us?
Yes. Are you okay, my friend? He softly chuckled.
Good. I like how you read that. And I like how you used your voice and said friend, because it is a question. So we will need a question mark there eventually. But the vocabulary is chuckled. I'm pretty sure we all know what chuckled means. It means to laugh, right? Like a little small laugh. Like a not like a ha 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 ha, like a crazy laugh, but like a little laugh, right? Okay. We know what the vocabulary word is. And now let's find the noun. There's only one, Christopher. Where is the noun?
And chuckled.
Wait, we're looking just for one noun. Remember person, place, or thing? Not a verb.
Friends.
Friends. There you go. Friends. And then we need two pronouns. So Lacey, where are the two pronouns?
You and he.
Good. Yes. You. We don't see that one very often. And he. So the pronoun you, PR and he. Good. And then Mariah, what about the adjectives? There's two.
Okay, my.
Good. You got it. Okay. And my. Because it's telling whose friends, my friends, and then they're asking if they're okay. It's like a feeling word. Like, how are they feeling? Are you okay? Good. And then an ly adverb, Liana.
Softly.
Good. And then let's do subject verb next. So Christopher, what about verbs? What are the verbs? There's two.
Chuckle.
Yep.
Softly.
That one's an ly. So it's right here. Are. That's one we don't see very often, but are is actually a linking verb. It's linking words here in this sentence. Are you okay? Oops, we got to find the subjects next. So Lacey, there are two subjects here. What are the two subjects?
Okay.
Not okay, that's an adjective. One of them is going to be you. Are you? So that's one subject. And then how about here, chuckled? Who was it that chuckled?
He chuckled.
He chuckled. There you go. So the subjects are you and he, the two pronouns. Subjects are going to be either pronouns or nouns, by the way. Capital, Mariah, where does the capital go?
In the beginning.
Good. And then Liana, we have two end marks. You know where those go?
Um,
So
chuckled and
good.
then he.
So the quote, what they're saying is actually a sentence. So it's going to go after friends. But what do we need? Are you okay, my friends? What do we need to put at the end of that sentence?
Question mark.
Yes, very good. I'm going to just squeeze it right there, a little question mark. So when you rewrite this sentence, after you put friends, put a question mark and then the quotation mark. Okay, are you okay, my friends? Question mark, quotation mark, and then he chuckled softly, period. Okay, good job, you guys. Do you have any questions about this page? No? Oh, Lacey, go ahead.
Is he supposed to be capitalized?
No, because it's still part of the main sentence. It's remember when we talked about attribution and quotations? Remember we talked about that a few weeks ago. So the attribution is who's saying it. Remember we talked about how in the story the little red hen, she's always asking like, who will help me bake the bread? You know, she's the attribution. So he is the attribution. It's part of the sentence. So you don't have to capitalize that because it goes after the quote. But that's a really good question. Anybody else have any questions? You're welcome. Okay. So we're done with grammar for today. And now you can get out your binders. We've been writing about Marco Polo. We're going to write some more about him this week. So go ahead and get out from your front pocket all the things from Marco Polo. Your note page here with your keyword outline, and then all the other stuff that comes with the Marco Polo. Get all that out. Okay. We're going to keep going on this report. I'll give you a second to get everything out. Do you have it ready, Mariah? Okay, good. On the back of our keyword outline that we started last week, go ahead and turn to the back of that. This is where we listed possible topics. Give me a thumbs up if you have that in front of you. Okay. Do you have that, Mariah? Do you have this in front of you too? Okay, give me a thumbs up so I can see
Yeah.
that. Okay, good, thank you. Christopher, do you have it? You have this? Okay. So we already talked about his early life. That's what we started with paragraph 1. So I just want you to put a check mark by that one. We already did that one. And now we're going to write 2 more paragraphs. That way our whole report is 3 paragraphs long. Okay, so we have the first paragraph. We wrote about his early life. And now we need to pick 2 more from here. We have travel China, work China, travel home, life after, and book. And we only need 2 more, but that's a lot more than 2. So what do you guys think? I'm going to see what you guys think we should write about next. What do you think, Liana? Which one of these should we put next in our report? You just pick one.
Maybe travel China?
Travel China? Okay, what do you think, Christopher? Which one of these should we put next in our report? We get to pick.
Travel China.
Travel China. Lacey, what do you think?
Work China.
Work China. And what do you think, Mariah?
Travel China.
Travel China? Okay. What if we did, because 3 of you want to do travel China, and then 1 wants to do work China. What if we did travel China this time together, and in the last one, you guys get to pick whatever you want. You could do work China as your last one. Okay, Lacey? So we'll do travel China next so we can do that one together. And then maybe either work China or travel home. You could do any of these. Let's start with the next one to be travel China, though. That kind of makes sense, travel China. All right, so on the front, we're going to put MP for Marco Polo again. And now before we write anything else, I want you to look at the article here. And I had to erase my notes because this is my master copy, but I think it was this paragraph. Is that what you guys have where it says travel China on this paragraph? Okay. So it starts with when Marco was 17 years old. That's the paragraph that talks about his travels to China. Okay, good. I see that. So we're going to focus on this paragraph for this one about his travels to China. I think we could put travel and then an arrow to China and then long, because it was a long travel, right? He was gone for a long time, or his parent. Well, there was a part where his dad and his uncle left and they were gone for a long time, and then they all went together. And I think we should talk about that part where all of them went together to China. So you remember last time what we did was read the paragraph and you guys focused on underlining stuff, right? You looked for things that are interesting or important. So while I read this paragraph, I want you to use your pen or your pencil and underline the things that you think are important or interesting in that paragraph, okay? Lacey,
I already have these underlined.
do you guys all have stuff underlined there? Oh, you do? Oh, that makes it easier. That makes it faster then. All right, look at what you have underlined. Thank you, Lacey. I forgot we already did that part. And let's start with Lacey. What's something that you have underlined here about his travel to China?
I have, well, the first sentence.
The first sentence, okay. When he was 17 years old, he left with his father and uncle on a trip across Asia to China. I think that's a good thing to put in our report. That would probably be good to put that first. So,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe we could, do you know how we could put that in there? What is your idea as far as 3 words or symbols or what, how could we put that here? What do you think, Lacey?
We can put NP and then the number 17.
Okay, I like that. You don't have to count anything yet.
We can put we can do the same thing that we did with the last paragraph was father plus uncle.
Okay,
But you know, how we
like
do it.
how we did up here, we put F plus uncle like that. Okay, F plus uncle.
Um, we can put Asia, Asia, Asia and China.
Asia and China, yeah. I wonder if we need the word trip, maybe trip China.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Trip China. Good. I like that, Lacey. Good job. And then once you write that in, I'm going to have Mariah go next. What's something that you underlined that was interesting or important that you want to put in your report, Mariah? Oops, you're muted.
Can you hear me?
Now I can, yeah. Oh, now I can't though. Now it muted again.
Well, we could use when
I couldn't really hear you. Are you looking for something else that you underlined in there? For some reason, your microphone is not working. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Yeah, maybe it's your little microphone. Okay, we'll come back to Mariah. How about Liana? What's something you underlined?
um I put
I wonder if the part about the year would be good to add.
oh yeah.
What if we put, let's see, they set off from Venice and sailed to Israel. I wonder if we should just put 1271. Can we just add that to the one we just did so we know what year it was? To just say, Marco Polo, when Marco Polo was 17, he went with his father and uncle on a trip to China in 1271. I think that would be a good spot for the year. That's my advice. Add it to number 1. And then what what else do you think, Liana? Is there other information on there? I'll come back to you, Mariah. Okay, hold on a second. Liana's gonna pick something.
Instead of sailing around India and China, the Polo decided on an overland route.
Yeah, overland route. Yeah, that's a good one. Or route. It's one of those words you can say either way. Okay. Instead of sailing, how could we put that? Maybe,
Maybe we could put instead and then a little sailboat.
Oh yeah, I like it. Instead, I think I can draw a little sailboat. Let's see. Instead of, there we go. That kind of
The
looks like.
one that I was gonna do the sailboat one. I was trying to get that one ready.
Okay, I'll have you do the next one. Okay, Mariah. Instead
We could
of
put,
sailing, yeah, what else?
we could put
I guess we could just put overland route
yeah,
instead of sailing and then just put overland. That just basically means they decided to go across the land. So if you guys have a different way of putting that on yours, you can change it. You don't have to do it exactly. So they either rode on camels or they walked part of the time. I don't know how they did it way back then. It was before cars and stuff. So they had to have either donkeys or camels to help them get across those countries. They walked. It took a long time, I'm sure. Maybe they had horses. Horses are a little bit faster, but still they need breaks too, you know.
yeah.
So Mariah, what's another thing that you underlined? What were you going to tell us?
Well, they had ticket already, so I have another one. Mm, The polos decided on an overland route.
Yeah, we just did that one. We just did that instead of sailing overland route. So pick a different one.
I think they, the polos caravan traveled over mountains and through deserts.
Okay, good. I like that. We already know we're talking about the polos. So what words can we put in the outline for that part?
Mm, we could draw like people probably,
Okay.
and then like a travel for like car or something, and then mountains and deserts.
I wonder, could we just put traveled and then mountains and deserts?
Yeah, we could do
You
that.
can do people if you wanted to. I don't know if you need it though, but you can draw a little person if you want to. But I think it traveled, that's an L, by the way. Traveled mountains and deserts, I think it said, right? Yeah. Okay, and then I want you guys to do 4 and 5 by yourself real quick. I'll just wait here for you, but look at that paragraph, the same one we're working on, and find 2 more facts that you want to put here for 4 and 5. And then when you're done, give me a thumbs up. Okay, so I'm going to have you do 4 and 5 about their travels to China. Let me know if you need any help or if you have any questions. Christopher, you know what to do? Okay, go ahead and pick 2 more things from that paragraph on page 99 down here. And then put the keywords for 4 and 5, 2 different things there. You got it, Mariah? You already wrote it down?
Like that after then 3 years, I put like 3 years, like an arrow, and 3 years a travel, and then um for this for the first one, they finally reached the court of the Empire Koopa can.
Okay, so that's too many words. What are the words you put down for number 5?
Number
Usually
5, I changed it to they finally like reached and the core to put like a chunk of a like core, and then for the empire and
Emperor.
emperor,
Okay.
and then I put the name.
I think you have too many words, right? You have finally reached and then Emperor Kublai Khan. That's too many words. You can count Kublai Khan as one word, but that's 4 words. Finally reached, Emperor, and Kublai Khan is 4. So you
We
should
can
only have 3.
we can use empire carbon.
Those are 2 words still. Let's see. Lacey's going to tell us something. Go ahead, Lacey.
For mine, I put 3 and YR for year and then an arrow. And I put reached Emperor Kublai Khan.
Oh, that's a good. Good.
Yeah, me too.
Instead of the word finally, Mariah, maybe you did that too, Liana? That's what you did? Okay, perfect. So instead of the word finally, you can just take that one out. So she said she did it like this. 3 years, and then she did an arrow. Reached. Is that right? Is that how you did it, Lacey? Reached Emperor Kublai Khan.
Yes. But
Okay, good. Go ahead.
yes, but on the 4th one.
But on the 4th one, okay. That's fine. Is everybody done with 4 and 5? Give me a thumbs up if you're done with 4 and 5. Okay,
I
Lacey's
have
still working.
4 done, but not 5.
Okay. We'll give you another minute to do that. You can just relax, Mariah, for a minute. Got it, Christopher? What did you put for your 4 and 5, Christopher? Started thriving.
Iron.
Where were they going? Is somebody watching something in that room there with you, Christopher? Okay. I wonder if they could turn it down a little bit. Probably hard to concentrate, I would think. Okay, and Liana, are you finished? Are you finished, Liana? Are you still working on it? Kind of still working on it? Okay. Oh, I think it says my internet is unstable, so I think I froze for a second. Hopefully it hangs in there. You got it, Lacey? Oh, do you need some help? Yeah, okay, you need another one? Um, oops, I'm on the wrong page. Hold on, this one. I thought this part right here was kind of interesting how they carried letters from the Pope in Rome. So they were bringing letters back. I mean, they were carrying letters from the Pope. That's interesting. Let's see what else. Oh, and this part, sacred oil to give to the emperor. That's kind of interesting.
That was I was trying to do that, but it was hard because I already had 2 words. I can't put sacred oil because that's 2 words, and I'll make it 4.
Okay. What if you did sacred oil and an arrow and then emperor?
Okay,
That would work? Yeah, that would work okay.
so
Like this, sacred oil, arrow, emperor. They were taking sacred oil to the emperor because they're on their way to China, right? That would be a good one because they traveled across the mountains and deserts and they carried with them this sacred oil to take to the emperor. And after 3 years, they finally got there to the emperor and they gave him the oil. They also gave him those letters from the Pope. So they gave him gifts, basically. All right, you guys, let's move on to 3 here. We're going to do this one too today. This is where you guys get to pick. You can all do something different. Okay. So let's turn to the back now. Again, we already did travel to China. This is where you can either choose work in China or how they traveled home or his life. Remember his life after his travels. That's when he was in the war, remember? And then he got thrown in jail or prison. And while he was in prison, he wrote the book and stuff. So that's interesting. Or you can write about the book that he wrote and how all those things that he brought back, everybody thought it was lies, right? They couldn't believe the stories he told because he went to a completely different place, and he came back and he said, this is what I saw. This is what they had. And they're like, no way, that can't be real. You must be lying. And he's like, it's real. I haven't even told you all of it. I've only told you maybe half of what I saw. Remember that part? So what one do you want to write last? So I'll start with Liana. Do you know which one of these do you want to write about for your last paragraph?
work in China.
Work in China. Okay. How about you, Christopher? Which one of these do you want to write about? Home? Travel home? Okay. And then, so let me put your names here. This is going to be Christopher. You don't have to write these down. This is just for me. And Liana is going to write about this one. How about you, Lacey? Which one do you think you want to write about? It can be the same as one they pick too. You don't have to pick a different one. You can pick the same one if you want.
Travel home.
Travel home. Okay. That's for Lacey. And then Mariah, which one do you want to write about?
Work China.
Work China. Okay. All right. So let's turn it back over here. We got Marco Polo and Liana and Mariah are going to put work China. And Christopher and Lacey are going to put travel home. I know that's only 2 words, so you can add a third one if you can think of one you want to put there. If not, you can just keep it 2. That's okay. So 2 of you are going to put work China and 2 of you are going to put travel home. And then you're going to work on this by yourself for a minute. I'll be right here in case you need help. But if you're writing about work in China, that's going to be this one, right? That's the paragraph we labeled work China. This is on page 100. Yeah, work China. That's what we put here. So you guys are going to just look at that paragraph. And then Christopher and Lacey, you guys are going to do travel home, which is this paragraph. Travel home. You guys understand you're going to do different ones. That's okay. And you're going to look for the information that you underlined and start putting it in your outline. If you need help, let me know. I can help you come up with some words to put down. But you guys are going to work on number 3 by yourselves. Whatever topic you pick, go to that paragraph and then start putting down some facts. Okay. You know what to do, Liana? Okay, go ahead and get started. Let me know if you need any help. Lacey?
Can I sing my first one?
Yeah, go ahead. What do you have?
I put polos, like a little thumbs up for good, like they're still going, and then
Okay.
business. HP is for hope, and then con 17 YR. Is that good?
You have polos and then a thumbs up. And then what was after the thumbs up?
Business.
Business? Oh, okay. And then con and then 17 years.
I put HP for help instead of actually putting the word there. So
Okay.
for
Yeah, I like it. I think that's good. That's different. But I think it says the same thing. So I think that'll work. Good job, Lacey.
P.
Yeah. Anybody else have any questions right now? Okay. Keep going. I'm gonna give you a few more minutes to keep going. Are you done, Mariah?
I'm looking on number 3.
Okay. Lacey?
I'm a little stuck which sentence I should go to next.
Okay. Let's see. And you're talking about this one right here where he's gonna travel home. Okay. Let's see. I don't think you need to worry about the princess, even though it's kind of interesting, but it's hard to explain that, I think. What if you are you on number 2 on your list? Okay. Well, then if you're still on number 2, maybe it would be good to mention the princess. Do you want to talk about the princess? Like how they
Maybe just one sentence.
Yeah, maybe one sentence. I agree. Okay, so maybe maybe you just say escort or escorted with the ed. Princess and then an arrow to Persia. Do you know what the
Okay.
word do you know what escort means?
Take, basically.
Take, basically, yeah. So like if your dad takes you to the park and drops you off with some friends or family, you know, you're there, you're at a party or something, then your dad is escorting you. He's just delivering you. He's just taking you. So yeah, that's right. Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay. How's yours coming, Christopher? What number are you on?
I'm done.
Okay, let's hear what you have. Everybody else keep working.
MP travel home. Polo service 17 years.
Okay.
Decide leave princess. Departed 14 ships. 100 servants. Sailors.
Okay.
South Malay Persia. Journey 2 years most died.
Good.
Disease, drowning, and pirate attack.
Good. That part where you said hundreds, I think you said, what was that part about Malay? What did you say for that part again?
South Malay Persia.
So maybe an arrow between Malay and Persia. Is that what you have? Maybe so that it makes sense that from Malay to Persia. That way, you know, that's part of the travel. Okay, good. So that part where you talked about remain in service for 17 years, you are probably going to mention that first before they start traveling home. So something like after serving Khan for 17 years, Marco Polo and his dad and uncle traveled home. Does that make sense? So you probably, because it'll sound weird if you start by saying they traveled home, but then they worked for 17 years with Kublai Khan. So you probably want to switch those two. That's something I want to talk to you guys about when you're done, is you don't have to write these sentences in the exact same order that you have them on your outline. You got to think about what makes sense logically, the logical order to write these things. Okay, so since you're done, Christopher, you can just relax for a minute and we'll give everybody else. Show me on your fingers what number you guys are on your outline. Which one are you working on? Oh, good. 5. Okay. 4. Good. You're close. How about you, Mariah? What number are you on? Okay, good. So I'll give you guys another minute. You're close.
Messed up on that wrong.
Oh, you messed up on one?
Yeah, I kept on putting 4 in it.
That's okay.
It also didn't make sense.
You can put it down at the bottom and just draw an arrow down to the bottom, okay? Okay, give me a thumbs up when you got it. Almost there. Okay. Good. Okay, good. I think everybody's pretty much done. Are you done, Mariah? Okay, good. So I want to talk to you about a couple of things. Before we go, I want to show you an example sentence. And I'm going to put it on the back here next to possible topics. So, let's look at this first sentence right here. Marco Polo traveled to China and it was a long trip, right? So let's say, and you can copy this down so you have it to refer to if you want to use it. If you said Marco Polo decided, this is just my words, okay, to go on a long trip to China with his father and uncle. I'll leave that there for a second so you can copy that. So Marco Polo decided to go on a long trip to China with his father and uncle. And you probably noticed I used a banned word, go. That's not a good word. I need to think of a different word. So let's fix that first.
When?
What is it?
When?
Went. Okay. Went would work because that's not, wait, no, went doesn't work. That's part of a banned word too. It's go and went. Remember? Go and went are on our list. So no, we can't use went. What's another one? What do you think, Christopher?
Travel.
Okay. Traveled, or Marco Polo decided to travel. Well, that doesn't really sound right either. Travel on a long trip to, we could do travel.
Move.
We could take off on a cross out the rest of that. Now you could say Marco Polo decided to travel to China with his father and uncle. That would work. I know we took off long, but that's okay. And then sometimes I notice that students will just say, man, I need a spot for a who or which clause. What am I going to do? And then they just plug in a who. Like if I said Marco Polo and then they go who. Okay, done. Underline it. Now it says Marco Polo, who decided to travel to China with his father and uncle. Now it's not a complete sentence. So I wanted to just talk to you about that really quick before you go, that you can't just throw a who or a which in a sentence. It has to have more after it. So you could say something like Marco Polo, who decided to travel to China with his father and uncle. Something else about what he did, something else about Marco Polo. Let's see, what else could we say about him? Marco Polo, who decided to travel to China with his father and uncle, was, I'm going to put a comma here, was, I'm going to say, excited to meet the emperor. I bet he was. It didn't really say that in the story, but I bet he was, right? Lacey, did you have another idea?
we can put Marco Polo, who decided to travel to China with his father and uncle in 1217.
Oh, in 1217? Okay. But it has to be something about Marco Polo. So if I say in 1217 or 1271, it doesn't really go with Marco Polo. Or you could say left in 1271, that would work. If you said Marco Polo, who decided to travel to China with his father and uncle, left in the year 1271, that would work. Okay, so I know it's time to go, but I just wanted to show you that if you pick a sentence and put a who or a which in there, you have to have more information after that. It has to have another verb like was or the word left. That's a good verb. Another verb and more information after the who or which clause. That's it. I just wanted to tell you about that. So your homework this week is going to be paragraphs 2 and 3. Now that you're ready, you have both of these filled out. You're going to write the next 2 paragraphs. And don't forget your checklist. You still have 4 words you're underlining in your paragraphs and the topic clinchers. Remember, repeat or reflect, 2 or 3 key words. Lacey?
I think I forgot my topic clincher on my last.
You forgot what?
My topic clincher.
Wait, say it one more time. You're muted. Oh, say it again.
I think it's a clincher sentence that she forgot.
Oh, the topic clincher sentence. Okay. Yeah, try to do that. If you forgot it on the first paragraph, you can fix it and then you can turn it in this week with these paragraphs too. Okay. But don't forget about topic clinchers, and you're going to give it a new title. Don't just call it Marco Polo. You can have Marco Polo in the title, but you need to have more to it. You can create a brand new title for it using the title rule. So make sure you read this checklist. Okay, sorry we're so late, guys. You did great today. Have a good week. I'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.